What's happening, everybody? What's going on? What's going on? Welcome to another edition of SWAC Smoke. Man, we 10 shows in. This is me, man. We have done 10 of these things better. So happy. Let's have a little celebration. Let's have a little fun. We're gonna talk a little SWAC football. Week 3 was interesting to say the least, man. Not a good week if you was a SWAC team. Prairie View, only SWAC team get an out of conference win. A lot of close losses and some blowouts, but we're gonna run through it all, and then we're gonna talk about week 4 and get ready for this game tonight. So, with all that being said, man, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm excited about the game tonight. I'm about as excited as I was last week tonight for this game. So I think they're picking some good Thursday night matchups.
Yeah, I never was a fan of Thursday night games, but I feel like this is, if you're gonna do them, pick some good games to draw interest. And this is a huge game for the West Division, so we'll definitely be keeping tabs on this one. I'm gonna have both my eyes on this one, and I'm excited too. I feel like my plan, man. I'm hyped up. I'm ready, ready to check this out. So, let's take a look through and see how things turn out.
All right, Grambling State, Houston. I think that went somewhat with how we expected. I'm still worried about Grambling and them being able to score. I don't know what's going on down there. A lot of people calling for the true freshman quarterback to get some playing time. I think if the quarterback play don't improve, I think he will get some playing time when conference start. I don't think Fives want to put him out there in the non-conference games, but you pick Houston, I pick Houston.
Yeah, Grambling, the offense, man, is not looking good right now. Like you said, they're gonna have to make some kind of decision and adjustments with the quarterback situation, because you can't continue to throw the ball for very little yardage, and they're not even running the ball well either. That offense needs some kind of spark, and maybe a young quarterback can do it. Obviously Houston is not the best gauge for that this week.
Right.
It's still gonna be a tough game because Prairie View playing good, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But Grambling game kind of turned out like I kind of figured it would.
All right. The next one, I picked UCA. You went with PB. That went as I expected it, but I'm familiar with UCA, so I kind of know what to expect from them. But I think, UAPB put up some points later on in the game, but UCA, I kind of chimed in on that game for a little while. They took control of that very early.
Yeah, I kind of checked scores while I was at the game, and I noticed that they jumped out on them. I kind of thought Pine Bluff could get a better start. They might be in the game, and a bad start again. UCA got a tremendous team, and they definitely took care of business in this one. So, like these kind of games, man, you really hope for the best from your team, but it's just sometimes other teams, they just hit a different level when they play you, and we don't always respond. So you just kind of put this one in the background and move on. But I thought Pine Bluff did at least show some fight in the second half to get back in it.
Yeah, they did do that, and I tip my hats off to them for that. But one thing I'm gonna say, and then we can move on. They better not start like they've been starting tonight against Alcorn. I mean, this is a conference game. You can't afford to start like you've been starting. But move on to Prairie View and Houston Baptist. PV scared me for a minute. I thought I was finna have to be done with them, but they rallied back, man. They really showed something during this week, so I'm really proud of them.
Yeah, I thought they played they got off to a great start. They, put up, I think it was like 20 points in the first quarter, and then it looked like Houston Baptist was going to get back in the game and take control of it, but Prairie View shut them down and finished it off. So that was a good effort by the offense. The defense played well, in spurts, but Juwan really showed the kind of quarterback that he can be when he doesn't turn the ball over, and that makes Prairie View a dangerous team. They're looking more like the Jalen Morton Prairie View with Tucker at running back, and all those receivers a couple years ago. They started to look like that, and it's scary. If you facing Prairie View in the near future, you better be ready, because I think they're gonna be a big factor in the West.
All right, moving on to the game. I want to know what happened. McNeese and Southern. We both picked Southern to win this game. Southern was in control of this game. Second half, Southern stayed in the locker room or something. I don't know. You have to tell me where they went.
All right. Well, buckle up. I'm gonna take a long time because we got a game to get to. But like you said, second half, Southern sent McNeese into the locker room at halftime demoralized, man. Southern played the best first half I've seen from Southern since 2018 against Prairie View. They were clicking, all plays they called were working. Defense was flying around the field, hitting everybody. They weren't giving up any drives. They did get hit with a opening kickoff return for a touchdown. I thought the team responded well to that. And then second half came. McNeese, every play McNeese made in the second half, they got more fired up. Southern started having those Southern issues, the turnovers. We had an interception, a fumble, and a block punt. McNeese never started a drive outside of Southern's 35-yard line, I believe, including one at the 13. So when you allow a team to not have to go far, it puts a lot of pressure on your defense. And this is the second year that we played McNeese that they've benefited from short fields all game long. I don't think in 2 games against Southern, McNeese has driven the ball 70 yards to score, maybe once in 2 games. Southern has helped them tremendously, and it just was a snowball effect. You just kept waiting for the next bad thing to happen, and it would happen, and then another thing would happen, and they found something with one of our cornerbacks, and they picked on him like 8 times till he finally started getting pass interference penalties. That gave them a touchdown. And before you know it, Southern was down 31-21, and they made a late push, got a field goal, and, that was the final margin. But it was 2 different teams, man. That was not Southern came out in the second half. I don't know who that was. But whoever that was, from now on, they need to stay wherever they're from. Don't come on that field as that team, because they're not going to beat anybody playing like that. And it was just a great game. I think everybody felt they had the win locked up, and McNeese just showed that the game is 60 minutes and not 30.
So one last question about that game. Is my boy going to get benched?
I don't think so. I think Coach Rollins really has a high opinion of him. I think he's gonna let him play himself out of the job, I guess you could say. I think Valley is gonna be one of those kind of games that's gonna be hard to gauge. Valley is Valley, but some people do want Bubba McDaniel to come in. We all know the backup quarterback is the most popular person on a football team, so everybody wants to see Bubba until Bubba plays, and then it's gonna be whoever behind him. But I think he's gonna be all right, because I think he's gonna rebound and he's gonna have better games. It's just those mistakes in big games, they stand out more than everything else. So everybody's on edge right now. But I think a good out in this next game, and then against Texas Southern in early October, do good to getting this team back on track and getting Skelton back on track.
Okay. All right, moving on. Stephen F. Austin, Mississippi Valley. I was glad to see Valley score some points, but that went how I expected it to go.
Yeah. Yeah, and before I get to that, I just want to throw a comment on the screen real quick. It basically states that it is not showing up. That Coach Rollins did say in his press conference that Skelton will be the starter, and he basically has said from the jump that that's his guy. I don't think he's gonna do too much of that Odom's, back and forth. I think Skelton is really gonna have to crash and burn to lose that spot. But right now, I think it's his job to lose. So we'll see. But going back to Valley, it was great for Valley to score, but Valley still played a horrible game. I think they gave up 2 pick sixes and a kickoff return or a punt return for a touchdown. Valley continues to make bad mistakes at the wrong time. Against Murray State, I ran on all night. Against Stephen F. Austin, they got thrown on. So they don't know what to do. Coach Dancy said in his press conference that they looking at wholesale changes already in week 3. That's not good. So we'll have to see how they do. But Valley is, until they start to step up and play consistent, Valley is gonna always be Valley. No offense to anybody I know from Valley, and I know some few people. So no offense to y'all.
All right. Moving on to the JSU ULM game. Of course, we both picked JSU. That game, man, to be honest with you, JSU defense seems to be for real. The offense is good in spurts. Saw Shador make a crucial mistake at a crucial time in the game, which I think is gonna serve him well. I think this game will actually serve Jackson State well, due to them really. Honestly, I feel like they should have punished ULM, but losing a game like that sometime is either gonna make or break a team, and I think they probably gonna be better for it in the long run.
Yeah, I think this game is kind of one of those, I don't want to say back to earth type of games, but this was a very winnable game, and the offense did not do their part. They had a big touchdown pass, but other than that, not a lot. Shador continues to still, run that offense the way they're running it for, but they're not doing anything really crazy, and they are horrendous right now running the football. That defense gave them a win. You hold anybody to 4 field goals, you're supposed to win. I don't care who you playing. If you hold them to 4, especially on the road, you should win. And I think that's gonna have to start to change because teams can get frustrated within units. If you're going out there and you're doing your job and the other unit ain't doing their job, if you don't have great chemistry, that can be a factor. So that's something I want to look at. I don't think it's a panic button issue at all. I think with a team that's made of so many new guys, you have to look at those kind of issues because you just never know how teams are going to respond when adversity hits. So I think they're going to have to get some things going, and the offensive line is definitely going to have to step up. They not looking at that good right now. They're looking real soft. I noticed that in the FAMU game they got pushed around a lot. This game they didn't get to do much, and their offensive line is going to have to get some chemistry and get the best guys going. So it's important for them to get that going and fast.
Yeah, that's definitely everything you said is correct, especially that run game. Without a good, solid run game, it's going to be tough for them all year. But I think that they're gonna do fine in the SWAC. I'm not saying they're gonna win it, but I think they're gonna do just fine. They're gonna have to definitely have to get better though. Moving on to the Alcorn South Alabama game, I was able to chime in on a little bit of that. We both picked South Alabama, but I think that was a winnable game for Alcorn as well. I think they played pretty well in that game. The times I was watching it, that's what kind of made me a little bit nervous for the night. I think Alcorn has played pretty decent the few games they have had. A lot of people were upset about that MEAC SWAC Challenge game, but due to the circumstances and things that we've been hearing surrounding that program, I think they responded very well.
Yeah, I think like you said, all things considered, I thought they played well. South Alabama, some pretty good football so far this year, and Alcorn was, pretty much they allowed a big run of points, but Alcorn at least kept themselves in the game. And here's a good comment. Um, South Alabama had a couple muff punts that gave Alcorn, I think, that gave them a touchdown directly and maybe some good field position. But those kind of plays can change a game. They just so happen to work in Alcorn's favor to keep the game closer. But they have to really play better. They still aren't that Alcorn team that we all know. I don't know if they ever will be that, but they at least showed some fight in this game because they could have easily laid down from the start.
Yeah, and also keeping them, what was it, 28-21? I mean,
Yeah.
with their mistakes, I still think they did well keeping it there because UAPB definitely couldn't keep UCA to no 28 points. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, those kind of games can slip away from you real quick, and they did at least a good job of keeping it still in their favor.
Right. All right, South Florida FAMU. I didn't see any of that game. South Florida won as we picked, but I saw FAMU did score a couple times. Looked like.
Yeah, I didn't really I monitored the score from time to time, but I think the game kind of went the way I expected. FAMU did score some points, but USF was able to kind of just take control of the game and do enough to win. So I think FAMU at least moved the ball and they had a couple big plays, so they still have some bright spots for their future.
All right, then we'll finish out with the last Thursday night game, A&M and BCU. I really enjoyed that game. I like the way both teams played, even with the elements the way they were. That was a very wet, slippery game, but I thought both teams played pretty well. I picked A&M to win. I felt like they was going to win, but I also knew BCU was going to be not an easy opponent, and I think they should be on some people's watch out for list. I think Bethune-Cookman really has seems like they're missing something, but I think they really have some pretty good ball players. I think their running back is pretty good. The quarterback, Shannon Patrick, I like him. I think they got some pretty good players, and they're gonna play hard.
Yeah, I thought Bethune-Cookman, they started off kind of rough, and it looked like they were gonna blow them out of the stadium, but they fought back in the second half. Late second quarter, they found some things on the ground to get them going, and they have some players, man, and they're gonna, like you said, they're gonna be one of those teams that I think later in the year they're gonna cause a problem. So if you have to play them later, once because they had a tough schedule to start. But once you play them later, they're gonna win some games, and they're gonna be a factor in this division. And I really think that they may not win, but they're gonna challenge for it, and they're gonna be tough to beat.
BCU got hidden bottom. You think so? You think Hickbottom?
I think he could have helped them. I think he could have helped them. I think he's a good runner. He has a strong one, but he's not the best passer. But he's a good runner. But I like Shannon Patrick, man. I think he can get the job done. I don't know if he's a championship quarterback, but he's a guy who's gonna do what he can do if he cuts down on his turnovers.
All right, we can move on to next week's games. We'll start out with Delta State JSU. Of course, I'm going JSU in this one. I'm not, no disrespect to Delta State.
I think Delta State's very good Division II team, and they are gonna be a good team even to this. But this is a game Jackson State can make a statement in. They need to get that run game going, and I mean they're gonna win. But I would love to see them be able to run the ball and assert their will against a team that they are better than. So I'm going Jackson State for sure.
All right. This is a very tough one. Can be PV GSU. I'm gonna go PV.
I'm taking Prairie View, man. I don't think I jinx teams when I say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I don't think Gremlin has a shot in this game, man. I think the offense is just not good right now. I don't know how they move the ball and score against that Prairie View defense. And I think Prairie View's offense is gonna do enough to win because Gremlin's defense is not good either. So I'm hoping I don't jinx y'all PV, but I'm saying y'all gonna win this game. It's not gonna be close.
All right, we got Alabama A&M and Tuskegee. I'm gonna go A&M.
Yeah, I'm going A&M too. I don't know, I don't know what's wrong with Tuskegee this year, man. They playing some bad football. The only team they beat so far is Edward Waters, and they're not that good. They got blowed out by Miles. They got shut out by Fort Valley. A&M offense is gonna light up the scoreboard. I think Glass is gonna put on a show, and I that's pretty much all I need to say. I think A&M rolls.
All right, Bethune-Cookman, Alabama State. This is a very tough one for me. I don't know where to go in this one. My heart is telling me to go Bethune-Cookman, so I'm gonna take them. But I think this game could definitely go either way.
I picked. Who did you pick? Bethune-Cookman.
Yep.
All right. I'm going Alabama State, man. I think they need a statement game. Their offense has not been good. 14 points in 2 games, but they have and Ryan Nettles is a quarterback that can make some plays if he gets his consistency down. And I love their defense. I think it's gonna be a low scoring game, like maybe like a mid-20s type of game. I think it's one of that team got the ball last gonna win, so I'm going with Alabama State.
All right. Texas Southern Rice. I gotta go Rice. I'm gonna use your words. They're gonna have to show me. This TSU gonna have to show me something. GSU gonna have to show me something before I pick them.
I'm going Rice, man. I don't see Rice not good, but Texas Southern not really that good either. So I'm picked the best of the worst. So Rice, they'll win. It's gonna be an ugly game one way or the other, but Rice will win.
All right. The Sunday game, we got Southern versus Valley. I gotta go Southern.
I'm obviously picking Southern, as y'all can see. I'm a Jag in case y'all didn't know. I don't always pick my team, but against Valley, I will. But Southern's gonna have to show up and play 2 halves of football. That first half, Valley, I know Valley gonna come out ready. They're gonna be fired up, and they're gonna make some plays. Southern has to turn the ball over and do what Southern does, which is run the football and just play Southern football. I think they do that. They'll be okay. Don't give Valley any hope. You give Valley some hope, then they're gonna stick around. But I think Southern wins.
All right. We'll round it out with the game of the night tonight: Alcorn versus UAPB. I'm gonna go Alcorn on this one. UAPB gonna have to prove to me that they really like that. So I'm gonna go with Alcorn.
Well, I picked Alcorn, and everywhere people been talking about the game, I picked Alcorn. I wanted to pick Pine Bluff to so we can kind of have some back and forth, but I think Alcorn is built for these kind of games. I still think Pine Bluff is not. They did well in the spring. No offense to nobody. I'm not taking nothing away from what they did in the spring, but the fall time and serious championship races are a different beast. I don't know if Pine Bluff is ready for that. I think Alcorn, even with all their flaws, can win this game because they are a wounded animal, and wounded animals are very dangerous. This game reminds me a little bit of the 2019 Southern Pine Bluff game, although Pine Bluff was playing much better football than they were at this point. But Southern was coming into that game wounded, had one win over Edward Waters, and they lost to FAMU, McNeese, and Memphis, and they were limping in, and Southern was to take control of that game and win because they are a team who has been there before. So I'm going with Alcorn because I think Felix Harper and their offense are gonna do what they need to do. Defense will make a couple stops to win. I think it's gonna be a good game though. I'm excited. So I'm saying this, and I don't say this very often, but go Braves.
Well, I guess that rounds out the predictions for the week right now. As it stands today, you sitting at 21-6. I'm sitting at 22-5. So I see it getting a little bit more rocky as the conference season takes place.
Oh yeah, once you get rid of all those money games and those D2 games, and we start to get into actual SWAC play, we both gonna win some and lose some. So the records will start to really show. And hopefully, like I said before, man, I when I pick teams that are favored, they all don't win. So hopefully my jinx is over. I want to do well because most of my predictions don't always turn out so great. But that's the fun of making predictions, is to see how you did after the fact. So I'm excited for SWAC games, man. We almost out of the non-conference stuff, and we're in the full SWAC play. So I'm ready. Let's. Do you know how the weather is today in Pine Bluff?
Yeah, fall weather. They woke up this morning, I think it was in the 40s. It's pretty cool compared to what it's been. So
no rain, huh?
nah, ain't nobody said it's raining.
Well, that's good because I don't want to repeat it last week, So no delays, just good football. Good hard hitting football. I think it's gonna be a physical game, and I'm gonna be tuned in, and we're gonna have some good things to talk about.
Oh yeah, right now they saying it's 75 degrees there and clear, so it ought to be good and dry and clear.
That's football weather.
Yeah,
that's football weather. So I'm glad that it's finally fall and we're getting some real nice weather, and we're gonna get some exciting football because now it's conference play pretty much, and all the stakes are high now. So we're going to the Southern game, I believe. I ain't fully made up my mind yet, but probably be in Jackson on Sunday. So I'll have a live report. Well, not a live report. I have a report from the game. Hopefully it's good news for me and my family. So I say this all the time, but my dad went to Valley, and he don't really claim them. He's a huge Jaguar fan, but he secretly still root for them. So I want him to have his Valley side be upset so we can take care of some business. So I don't have anything else to throw in right now. You got anything you wanna say before we get out of here?
Not really. I think I'm considering making that trip to Jackson myself, although I got to be back at work Monday morning. But I really want to make that trip myself. So, but I'll let you know if I do. To see
All right.
Southern.
Well, like I say, I'm pretty much gonna nail down my plans probably like Friday or whatever. But I should be there. So if anybody else is there, and y'all see us, man, holler at us. We're not antisocial people. At least I don't think I am. But when the game starts, when the game is going on, don't talk to me because I'm not gonna talk to you. But before the game, halftime, after the game, unless Southern lose, I won't be that talkative. But it's all good, man. If anybody's out there, man, just let us know. And if y'all going to any games, man, please be careful out there. Take care of yourself. Be safe. Game is about to start. ESPNU 6:30 kickoff, 7:30 Central. Let's catch a game, and we'll be back next week to talk about all the action.
All right, peace out.
All right, we'll holler at y'all.